Okay.
Okay, shoulder flexion, arms are extended, hands to your hips. I do it as a 10-second hold, so I'm working the muscles without stressing the joint. And when I do it at home, my clock's ticking like a metronome, so it's easier to count. So 10-second hold.
Okay.
Okay? That's shoulder flexion. Shoulder extension, start with your elbows at your side. You do not want to start back here, you want to start with them at your side. Extend, make sure your hands stay lower than your shoulders. And we're working all the muscles that stabilize the shoulder, because those are the most important for protecting your rotator cuff for swimming. And then back to the start position, extend. And when you first start doing this, you might want to do these in a mirror so you can see your position and make sure your hand, you don't want to come up like that because you're getting to an impingement position for the shoulder. So keep it down below the level of the shoulder. Okay.
And so how many of those do you do?
I do 10-second holds.
Okay.
And I mean, you can do more than that, but so that's like my maintenance strength workout. It's not a gaining strength workout. On this one, my hands.
So what would be your gaining strength workout?
I'll add in. I'll do them as not with a hold. 2 sets of 20. So I'll do my first thing with a 10-second hold through the whole routine.
To kind of warm up.
To warm up, make sure everything's stable, things are good, and then go through and do 2 sets of 20 for every exercise. Okay. On this one, this is going to be external rotation. My hand starts at my belly button, and I'm going to rotate out. I want to keep my elbow in line with my body, and I don't want to shift my hips or my shoulders. So you don't want to do this. You want to do this. And it's working the subscapularis, a little muscle behind your shoulder. So this is going to be, no matter how strong you are, this will be your weakest one. It's a really important muscle group for swimming, and you don't really use it for anything else. So if you haven't been swimming a lot, or you haven't been doing stuff to strengthen it, you may have to do a lighter stretch cord, an easier stretch cord when you start out with this.
Okay.
Okay. And then internal rotation, starting with your elbow at your side, and I bring in the wrist with it a little bit, so I've got my wrist extended as well, and then bring it in, and I'm trying to keep my elbow like it's glued to my side. And the same thing, 10-second hold, but I want the 10-second hold where there's tension. I don't want to bring it all the way in where it's past the tension. Like, so here there's tension, here it's just like not. So 10-second hold, and you can see I've got the bands doubled up because I'm a lot stronger, and everybody's a lot stronger coming internally on rotation than external. And the more rotation you can get here without hurting yourself, then that external rotation range of motion is also good for your shoulder. So you want to, if you can step away and bring this out here instead of starting here, that's also a sign of, you know, kind of your shoulder strength and flexibility for swimming. Okay, internal rotation. And then the last one that's part of the Magic 5 for maintaining shoulder strength for swimming is the abduction, ab being going away from body. So I stand on these, I'm going to cross them, and I'm going to go from, my hands should be level with my elbows, and I'm bringing my elbows up, keeping my hands level with my elbows to the range of motion. And I, again, do not want to go higher than my shoulders, so I don't want to come way up like that, because that goes through a transition in the positioning of the shoulder that takes it to an impingement position, and it doesn't do anything to increase the strengthening of the shoulder girdle. So 5-second hold, back down, and of course you want to try to have the good posture so that you're really working the deltoids as you're bringing these up. Okay. as part of my routine, so I do those as the 10-second hold, and then these others are a little bit of the strengthening stuff. So of course we know that the finish of your stroke you need your triceps. So I do the elbows to the side and I do extension. And these are not with a hold because this is not a shoulder stabilization. This is working specifically triceps. And I'll do 2 sets of 20 for that. Then I'll do one that it's a reverse shoulder shrug. So I've got my hands on my shoulders and I'm trying to glide my shoulder blade down my back, so I'm working the little muscles that pull the shoulder blade down. So it's not a big movement, it's not a power move, but again, it's part of that shoulder hurdle. What else on the attachment? That's it for the attachment. And then I've added a balance exercise that's also hip adduction, abduction. So just doing balance. So that's abduction, pushing out.
And that's really good for your IT band too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's strangely, it's really helped my low back by strengthening the hip muscles. And then adduction, AD, so bringing it in. And so this is good for my egg beater. And also it's a balance exercise. My balance has improved a lot since I've been doing these. So I do 2 sets of 30, and so that's getting right and left, and then I switch to get the other side. And then take it off. And then with it anchored back down on the ground, I get my, I do bicep curls at 2 positions. I do one, well, let's get it a little tighter. I do one with it pretty tight. So I'm working the wrist in the beginning of the bicep curl. And then I loosen it up. And then I come up so I get the top end of the range for bicep curl. And again, just keeping my elbows at my side. And if you want variation, you know, you can do the alternating thing. And then I take it down pretty tight. And I do shoulder shrugs. And that's my basic routine.
Okay.
And yeah, it's really working the whole lower core, from the waist down through the hips. And you want to add the arms, and you want the good posture, and you're making sure that you're landing with the toes first. And when I do it barefoot, I like it better because I can really feel, you know, my feet, how they're connecting.
So it's a good 5-toe shoe exercise too to get
Yeah.
used to your 5.
And I usually do it as a barefoot exercise. You know, and then you're just feeling how balanced you are while you do it.
And you do about 100 of these, you
I
said?
do 100, take a little 10-second break, do another 100. And then I do and this is just like, again, that running form thing, but it's also balanced where it's just really tapping. I'm not coming down and landing. So I'm really staying balanced on my left, tapping. I go 5, oops, see, and then 5, and then 5. And so I go through that 5, 5, 5 till I get again to 100. So I'm working quads, hips, and balance.
Okay.
And then I add in a few sit-ups various kinds of sit-ups. Ends up to be about 200 sit-ups, and then that's my morning routine.
Okay.
And that whole thing takes about 20 minutes.
In the front sweep or the the catch?
So out, elbow pop, in sweep. And the technique is really important. And we have it set up in the weight room with a mirror, which is why I only do this part of the weight room circuit. I haven't been doing it on my own just because I'm not sure if I'm doing it right without the mirror. So out sweep, that elbow pop, and in sweep. And that's going to really work the front end of your stroke.
Okay.
And I guess you could, I don't know if you can do it one arm so that you're getting it.
That, like
yeah,
the one.
Then you can feel the lats, just that. Then you can bring the lats into it. That would be a good one to add. And you can do the visual to really see, and you'll feel the lats if you're recruiting it.
Okay.
Your shoulder's protected, and you're doing this as a strengthening exercise. And you can go up, you can step away and increase the tension to work the shoulder muscles more because you're in a protected position. So it's going to be very difficult to injure yourself while you're doing it. Okay? When we're doing the in sweep to develop, improve those muscles, we're doing it with the armpit open. Keep the elbow below the shoulder. And you probably want to start out not going in super high tension while you're working this range of motion from out to the center line. And you don't want to go past the center line, there's no reason to. And I guess play with it with open hand and with a closed hand grabbing the handle. So
and again, elbow above the shoulder takes you into
the shoulder.
But if you go above it, it takes you to the impingement
right.
position. So you want to stay below it, right?
Right. And then your wrist should be in line with your elbow because you don't want to be like this.
Right.
Right. You want to keep this stuff level and just below.
Okay.
Because yeah, once you get to here, there's this transition in the shoulder, in that ball and socket joint. It sort of goes through this hitch thing when you go from here to here. And if you're putting stress on it while you go through that, then it's sort of jamming it around in there.
Okay.
The technical bio.